Grace and peace, everyone. Grace and peace. What a blessing it is to be with you on today. I am so grateful to God for the opportunity to actually be in my right mind. That's a blessing all within itself. The way this world is going now, I am I am so appreciative to God for all that He's done, that He's doing, and He's promised to do. Well, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the CEO of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life, which we have the vision and the opportunity to render hope and encouragement to mankind, to the earth, to men, women, boys, and girls. And today we have the opportunity to share some information with you. And our topic more so today is actually having the opportunity to share with current wives messages, or shall I say, experiences from current widows. We are widows here on today. If you would notice in my original posting, I had that an individual by the name of Jennifer Hall, who was going to be with us, and she's experiencing some technical difficulty. So if she happens to come in, just know we're going to take a sidebar and we're going to see and talk with her then. However, in the meantime, I have my friend here, and she's out of California. Her name is Crystal King. She is also a widow, and she has some great information as well as an experience, or shall I say experiences, to share with you as it relates to current widows and current wives. One of the things I would like for you to do, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, because everything that Trophy of Life brings to you, it is going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel, because it's all about hope and encouragement, all about hope and encouragement. So we want you to know that in the midst of everything we bring to you, we're also absolutely bringing hope and encouragement to this platform. If you see me looking away, you will see, let's see, you will see me looking. I'm trying to keep up and down. I'm trying to do a couple things at the same time to actually share what comments may come into the post. But before we go any further, let me share this platform and take the opportunity to welcome Crystal. Thank you so very much for the opportunity to tap into your schedule and for you to bring the information that you're going to share with us, as well as your experience. Welcome to this platform of Trophy of Life.
Thank you, Portia. I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to get out what's so embedded in me, and for you giving me the opportunity to do that. I know that this is God sent. I've been trying to run in another direction, but every time I try to run in another direction, something like this, opportunity like this comes up. So I
Well,
know
right
that
about now, you can stop running. But you know what I want you to do? I need you to speak up a little louder. It's very faint. I can
okay.
hardly hear you. So we want to make sure everyone hears what we have to say on today. Okay?
Okay. Is that
Oh,
better? A
say it
little
again.
better? Is that better?
Louder, louder, baby, louder. What we
Is
got to say,
that
we have to
better?
say it. Come on,
Okay.
talk.
Is
Use that
that
outside
better?
voice. Use that
Okay.
outside voice. Well, look, before we start, I wanted to let the audience know that we're not here to tell wives what to do. We're just sharing our experience of what you need to know before your husband passes away, before your significant other passes away. And really, when I say significant other, it's more so if it's in writing, because if he's been your significant other for years and years and years,
Mhm.
and it's not in black and white or on paper. Okay, we're not going to go there yet. We're just going to leave it at that right now. We just want to briefly talk about relationship. We want to talk about trust, and we definitely have some great information for wives. And information about wills and irrevocable trust and things of that nature that we really need to talk about before our spouse pass away. A couple of announcements. Maybe I'll leave that at the end, but I definitely wanted you to know that if any information you would like to know about Trophy of Life, go to our website. Now, the only thing with our website right now is that since we're in transition, because my son, Craig Wheatley, is the president there now, I passed the baton and he's working it out. So it's expired information there, but it is information that we absolutely perform. Activities we do, things we do, and all of that. So when you go to our website, drop a note, let us know that you visited. Let us know even if you would like to participate, be a volunteer. It's all about rendering hope and encouragement. I don't care how it's done, as long as it's about hope and encouragement. Man, woman, boy, girl, children, of course, widows and widowers, losing a child. It's not all about grief. We have happy times as well. So I want you to, if it's your passion and the Lord has given you the idea to do it, and it's about hope and encouragement, we want to know about it. Okay? All right, we got that done. I'm really ready to jump in because I kind of get ticked when I think about some of the things that um, men or women go through after they lose their spouse. It's already hard because we're grieving, but there are some other things as well. As it relates to relationship, the word and the act of love, we have to know what it's all about. We definitely have to know. And the word love is taken so lightly nowadays. I mean, we love cars, we love our house, we love shoes, we love shoes, we love shoes. Anybody that knows me, I really, really like, I don't love shoes. I really, really, and by the way, just in case anybody want to know, I wear a 7.5 medium. I wear a 7.5 medium. Don't bring me narrows. Don't bring me wides. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, and if we don't know how to love, we really do have to ask God, show me how to love. Show me how to love. We can't just jump into a relationship with not knowing how to do something other than sex. Because believe me, believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. Sex is not going to take you through the years and years of a marriage. So love, trust, all is several components of a husband and a wife, and shall I say, a marriage. And we're going to get to the things you should know before you die, but before your spouse died. But these are the things that have to be into play right now. These have to, these things have to be known to your partner, to your spouse, to your legally um, and recorded spouse, not one of those just you've been living together so long that you call them your spouse. We're talking about real McCoy, a husband or a wife. But in our case on today, we're talking to wives because we're widows and we don't, if it's something that we can do or say that will help you to avoid some of the things that we've been through, yeah, we're definitely going to share that. And we definitely have to learn how to trust ourselves. If we don't trust ourselves, how can we trust someone else? Trust someone else with your life. We have to talk, we have to communicate, and what you give out is going to come back to you. So when we establish it, it's easier said than done. I do understand that. And some of the wives that may be listening to me now may be saying, you don't know what my husband has done, and I can't trust him. So there are some things that we're going to share on today. Yeah, Crystal, I see you shaking your head. And we already know marriages are not perfect, but we're gonna let Crystal loose momentarily. Listen, I had to write down things. I'm at the age now, I have to write down things before I forget them. So there's no shame in my game. If you see me looking at paper, hey, I got to do what I got to do to get the message across. One of the things that I did do is to contact several widows in our community to see what they would say to current wives today out of their experience. The wisdom that they have, the current wives today, of what you need to know, or something between what you need to know and some things we should do or you should do as a current wife. As a wife, if you're a wife now, we want to talk to you. We want to talk to you. One of the things that one of my partners in New York, her name is Dora Smith. She says, never, ever, and she put that in capital letters, never, ever take your spouse for granted. She says, communicate, again, capital letters, because we really mean these things, because when they're gone, you're going to wish you did this while they were alive. She says, communicate that you appreciate all the things they do, whether it's a big thing or whether it's a small thing. Our men are already beat up as they are living this life now. Beat up by society, beat up by family, beat up by, you name it, they're beat up. But when that man can go home to his castle with his queen, he should have some type of a wonderful atmosphere there. Even with children running around, it's still, we had to set the atmosphere for our home. No other woman is coming up in here. It's king, queen, and in my case, it was King Gordon and Queen Portia. That was it. That was it. That was it. You hear me? That was it. And just having a good place. Believe me, I'm not saying that all marriages are. There's no perfect marriage. There is no perfect marriage. None. But okay, let me get back here because I get off in a tangent talking about this, which is my passion. Spend quality times. Dora says, spend quality time with them, creating memories as much as possible, and take a lot of pictures. In the end, that's all you're going to have are the memories. That's all you're going to have are the memories. I have a friend, her name is Mona Wilson. She says, I should have prepared for this day before it happened. I always thought we would be together forever. Sort of unrealistically, a way of thinking, but I just knew he was sick with cancer. I just believed God would heal him and we'll go on living our lives as before. I never imagined, she never imagined living her life without her Rob. His name is Robert, without her Rob. I tell you, I have a friend, her name is Shantae Standback. She is a counselor, and I will have a Christian counselor for grief. And I will have her information for you. Anyone who wants to contact her, she is an excellent counselor. She's one of our Soul Wealth sisters under the direction of Dr. Vicki Johnson. And believe me, she knows her business. She says, cherish every moment. Cherish every moment. I know it sounds simple, but I wish I had understood the true value of the little moments. Hear us, current wives, ladies that are wives right now. Please hear us. Hear us. She says, I know it sounds simple, but I wish excuse me, Holy Spirit. I know it sounds simple, but I wish I had understood The true value of the little moments. Her husband's name was Greg. Greg and I were both so career driven that I now say we didn't pause just to be. The small gestures of love, the daily routines, and the shared laughter are so precious. Don't let the busyness, the busyness of life make you overlook these moments with your spouse. Don't do it. Don't let it. Don't let other family members mess up what you and your husband have. Don't let children mess up what you and your husband have. I'm telling you, I have one from Reverend Dr. Lavon Shaw. What hit her the most was the loss of her married friends circle and ministries. She said that cut her very deeply. So wives that are, if you're a wife now, just know that if you have a friend that becomes a widow, don't cut them off. Please don't cut them off. She was cut off from ministries. She was cut off from her friend circle that was still married. At least some of them. I'm not going to say all. I'm sure she probably wouldn't say all of them, but the majority of them. Just know that when we needed you while we were wives, we need you after the fact that our spouse is gone. Let me interject this. One of the greatest honors that you can do for an individual who's lost their spouse is to support them when their spouse is gone. Let me say it again. One of the greatest honors that you can do for a widow or a widower in support and in honor of their lost spouse, their deceased spouse, is to support that widow or that widower. Believe me when I say that. And last but not least, I have a response from Courtney Gilbert. She was speaking on the grief part. Your grief journey is your journey and no one else's. There is no such thing as the right or the wrong way to grieve. Take as much time as you need to heal. The best piece of advice that she received from her grief counselor was that itself. Take as much time as you need. You will never get over a deep loss, but you will learn to live with it. We don't want you to get stuck in it because there's a difference. And we definitely don't want to belittle what you're feeling, what you're sensing, how you're feeling. But we just know that you cannot stay in that stuck place. Otherwise, it will become depression. And we don't want that. May I also speak to widows who are in a good place. You're in a good place in your life. Everything is going good. But it's our responsibility to reach back and pull on a sister who is a widow, who is not doing good. That is my heart. That is my passion. Until I'm married, I don't even want to get married again. I just want to, anyway, forget that part. Forget that part. Hey, look, it is what it is. Someone told me, or I had heard that a widow had prayed, Lord, or was either a widow or a woman had prayed, Lord, take my sexuality or sensuality or whatever, one of them, take it away. I'm like, what? No. God made us like that. God made us with that sexuality and the sensual. I enjoy being a woman. I enjoy being a woman. And I don't want God to take it away from me. But one thing I do need him to do, and he has done it for these past 9 years, is when I get to that moment, I'm feeling myself. I put it under the blood. I not say robosha. I put it under the blood of Jesus. And that keeps me pure. That keeps me holy. And I'm not putting myself above anyone else. But I'm telling you, if you want to stay holy, if you want to live a pure life, a clean life, and be used by God, bring in the Holy Spirit. You know that woman that was on Steve Harvey's show? Holy Spirit to be. Holy Spirit. I'm like, God, do it for me. Do it for me. Anyway, oh my God. I just love it. I love it. So let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the nitty gritty. And also, I have received some very wonderful, important, pertinent information from an individual who works closely with the Register of Wills. So I was not able to get someone to come on with us. So I got the info. I spoke to them personally, and I got that information. So after we hear from Crystal and her experience, I'm going to share this with you, as well as individuals who are widows, who are homeowners in this Baltimore City area. I'm going to tell you where you can go to get a will. What else is it? It's for estate planning documents, advanced medical directives, all of that. I'm going to tell you where. That way we don't have to go through headache and heartache. Okay? Wives, I'm telling you, enjoy your husband while you have him. Enjoy him. Love on him. And believe me when I say, I'm not saying it's always easy, but God will help you through it. All right. So, Crystal, tell us a little experience of what happened to you when your husband passed, and even your passion now.
Well,
Louder. I'm telling you, louder.
I'm gonna start out with um, giving my testimony of what happened to me. Well, my husband and I had just purchased our home, and we wouldn't have qualified for the home, so we went ahead and did, you know, we went ahead and got the home in his name solely. So we kept hearing a lot of different information about adding me to the home later, when it could have just been simple, where I was added to the deed as a joint tenant with survivalship, and then I wouldn't have had to do probate. But I'm gonna
Crystal,
go back.
Crystal,
You
excuse,
can't
yeah,
hear me?
I can't hear you good. So I definitely need you to, yeah,
Let me
either
see.
if you had to bring the phone to you, or,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
definitely.
maybe so. Is that better?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, okay. It was kind of far back. So I remember you saying something about trust and speaking to the wives. And so what happened to me is that um, we didn't add my name to the home. That's how it all got started. But previously in May, I had started seeing some mail come to the house. And I'm like, well, what is this? And the Holy Spirit really does give me a notice, like awareness to say, question that. And so what happened is I started seeing some mail coming, and I usually don't get the mail. He gets the mail all the time. And so I asked him, I said, well, what is this tax thing that's coming to the house? And he said, oh, I don't know, because the taxes are included in the house. What it ended up being was a supplemental tax bill that we had to come up with, like 2,500 in 30 days. And so I was asking him, I said, well, we need to call, find out what this is. I said, besides that, I said, where are we kind of, I see that there's some bills from the house note, so I said, so what's going on? Because usually I'll take him to the bank and I'll kind of know what's going on. So I said, what's going on? And he said, well, this is a supplemental tax bill. We called the people. He said, okay. We called the bank. They said, or he said, I'll give my wife permission to talk to you to do that, do that. He said, well, I have to have a cashier's check or it was a cashier's check or like a money order. So I was like, that made me think, well, have you bounced a check? Why won't they take a check? Why won't they take an automatic payment from you? So um, we got through that, and I told him, I said that that's it. This was the first time that I actually let my husband pay the bills. So out of the whole 34 years of our marriage, I always paid the bills. But when we moved in the home, I decided to trust him to do it. So, and it seems like things were going well, but
So
come
was
to
your
find
name
out,
so was your name put on the document so you could do what you needed to do?
no, it
So
was
after
not.
he
We
passed
were one
away,
month out. We were 1 month out of adding me to the home. So what I was trying to get to was that I wouldn't have known anything and I would have lost our home because by that happening, by me asking him those questions, and then I told him I was going to take over the bills. You just give me the money and I'll make sure that way. Because for some reason, men, you mentioned this earlier, like they they don't realize that we are their helpmeet and that we are always the ones that figure out what to do if they're short. But they don't want to tell you that they're short in doing something because I don't know if it makes their manlyhood feel less than. But however, I took over the bills, and that's how I kind of started knowing some things because I didn't know who our mortgage company was. I didn't know how much our mortgage was.
okay,
I didn't
okay.
know anything because he did everything on the computer. I didn't get on the computer. So I could call and say, hey, this is how make a payment. But everything was in the computer. I didn't know his password. I didn't know how to even, I cut the computer on, and because I didn't know how to work on it, I cut it off and put it back in the
Okay,
box.
let's stop there. Let's stop there. Let's stop
Mm-hmm.
there. What you just said, um, one point was we wives, you have to learn how to work technology. And in your relationship, you have to actually develop trust because if you don't trust your spouse, he's definitely not going to give you a password and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you did not know, how to work a computer. So that's another component. Work the computer, technology, and all of us, I guess the older you get, it's not something that you always want to work with. But I encourage you to learn, because that's what the world is moving to, already are here. And that's what the world is moving to, technology. And if we don't have that information, God forbid our husband go out and I know situations where they leave the house and they don't come back that night. So you really do have to establish a relationship where you trust the spouse to be able to get their password, know their insurance information, all of that. And Crystal was saying that she with the house, what month were you going to get your name on the information, but your spouse died before?
June, and he died August 1st.
Say it again.
June, and he died August 1st.
Wow. And okay. That is amazing. I'm telling you, wives, I'm telling you, get the information while you can. Get that information. It's very important that in the midst of your marriage, that
Mm-hmm.
you get this information. Uh, Definitely insurance. Now, I do understand that there are times, I can't say it that way. Let's see. Well, we all know that GoFundMe is not an insurance policy. But there are times when people actually have to take that route. So I'm not downing them, but that's for what you can see. But for the unseen in the foreseeable future, and for your family and for your children. Get an insurance policy. Get an insurance policy, especially if you have children. And I'm get back to you momentarily, Crystal. One of the things people would say after we ask them or tell them to get an insurance policy is the fact, oh, I don't have the money for it. But we have money for eating out 3 and 4 times a week. And I know this is hard and honest. This is real talk. This is honest.
Sure is.
I don't have time to beat around the bush because things are happening too quickly now. And we have time to even going out and buy things that we really don't need. Stop trying to impress people that don't even like you in the first place. They don't care about you. I'm telling you to care about your family. Care about your family.
Absolutely.
It's going to work for your good in the long run. And nobody needs, let's say, how do I want to say it? There are many things that we may want, but do we really need them?
Right.
Rather than to take care of our family. After I don't want to hold our audience too long. So let me ask you some questions, Crystal. After your husband passed away, tell me some of the challenges. Quickly tell me some of the challenges, and then tell me what you're working on now, because that's good stuff.
Some of the challenges was inheriting a whole house note and all the
I can't hear you.
Inheriting all of the inheriting a house note and all the responsibilities and being a stay-at-home wife. So that was something. And so I want to go back to what you just said right quick, because you mentioned insurance. I had insurance, and my husband had separate insurance that I didn't know about. I was really ignorant to insurance and why people of other cultures would have such large insurance policies. And I would say, because they want to knock their spouse off or whatever and get the money. But I never in a million years thought that one day I would be living off of life insurance money. And so I'm like, and you can't get your widow's pension, ladies. Listen, if you guys think that you're going to lose your husband and you're young, you cannot get your widow's pension until you're 60 years old. So if you lose your husband younger, like I was like 53, and you call, you thinking, okay, I can get the money, but you cannot. You cannot get your widow's pension unless you get disability or if he was on disability. So it's very important, imperative that you get a life insurance policy that will cover you if you lose your husband and you're a stay-at-home wife. You stay at home, you keep your kids. If you get your kid, you have your children, you'll be able to get money for your children and yourself. But if your children are grown like mine, I did not have no income, and it has been nothing but the grace of God that has been keeping me, that I've been able to afford this home 2.5 years later.
Yeah, because I have heard from countless widows, those that say, after my husband passed, I had to move out of my home, because that's a whole income that's gone, a whole income. And when you're able to stay, in your home, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I'm grateful to God that I was able to do that. And then also on top of that, the fact that I have 2 grown sons, and my husband told them before he passed, take care of your mother. So shout out to Spider the drummer, Brian Tennyson Wheatley, and shout out to Craig DeMont Wheatley. Oh Lord, I told the middle name, and our bishop has, like, my bishop Gregory Dennis likes to tease people for their middle name. Anyway, I'm not going to say it again. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. But you are so right. So what are you doing now? Because of all, now that was just a snippet of what you experienced, but what are
Mhm.
you doing now as a result of the hardship that you had to go through? What are you doing now and what has become your passion?
What I'm doing now is having and just telling people to get your affairs in order because was not aware of, I knew about a living trust. I knew about, I heard about those things before, but I just never was educated on getting those things in place. And I just thought that if you've been married that long period of time, that everything just belongs to you, and it doesn't. And so, where the passion that I have now that the Lord has put in me is to get it out there like a trumpet to say, listen, you do not want to be going through probate and spending thousands of dollars in the midst of grief and hurt.
In
I
the
went
midst
to
of
the
grief and hurt. Right, right. That makes a
exact
difference.
yes, it makes a big difference. And you're I had a judge tell me twice, why should I give you this home? And so probate is a $2 billion a year industry. So that lets you know how many people are going through probate. So I must say I've had about maybe a dozen people have went and got a living trust, have went and got some life insurance, including my two sisters. And I'm thankful for that because I'm like, listen, and like your adult children need to have life insurance. I tell my kids all the time, I said, listen, I can't afford to bury you. I can't afford to, you can't. I spent 30,000 on my husband's service, and the lady asked me, "How many cakes do you think you could have do
How many
to do
what? I
that?" I
can't
said,
hear
"You
you,
can't
sweetie.
do that. You can't hear me."
Say it again.
So
How
I was saying that I spent like 30,000 on my husband's service, and I was saying that you can't not you cannot not have insurance. I've had two uncles that were actually cremated, had to go back to, where they didn't have a service or anything because they couldn't afford to lay them to rest. So I'm like, okay, you need to have some life insurance. And I started talking to my kids and I said, listen, your dad is not here any longer. You guys need to go ahead. I've carried you long enough. You need to go ahead and get some insurance and get some insurance for your children. And so some of them have did it. My son has gotten married. I'm glad that that's not my responsibility any longer. But it's so important to make
it's
sure that
definitely
you're.
definitely important. It definitely is important.
Mhm.
Whew, health insurance, death insurance, life insurance, whatever insurance you can get it.
Yes,
If it's going to benefit you, if it's going to
yes.
benefit you. One of the things, well, look, let me go through a couple of things for wives that my friend from the Register of Wills, or she used to work with them in that particular category, she said to share this particular information. We
Mhm.
need a health care directive. And this is in case your spouse is or he becomes sick. Someone you trust to make all the decisions for your health, even to the idea of don't resuscitate.
Mhm.
These are very sensitive and private matters that you
Mhm.
need to know about before your spouse die. I mean, taxes and death are due us at one point or another, or unless we're going to be caught up in rapture. Hey, either one, I'm ready. Look, I tell you what, the health care directive, make sure you come back and replay this and get this information, or contact me and I will send this information out to you. Another is the power of attorney. Matter of fact, let me break here. Anyone that's in our audience, if you know something in particular that is needed and necessary, and you've had that experience of a spouse dying or a challenge that you think, or shall I say, the audience should know, put it in the comment section and let me know, and I will share it. We need a
Mhm.
power of attorney. Why? or what it is a written authorization to represent or act on another person's behalf in private affairs, in business, or some other legal matter. A power of attorney can be helpful to especially older people and others who want to choose a trusted person to act on their behalf when they cannot speak or act for themselves. That's why I say trust has to be a factor in marriages.
Mhm.
Let me interject this. There have been times, I know one situation that a husband was married. Well, yeah, was married, husband and wife. A house was built on the insurance policy was the husband and the wife. They broke up. He built a house, and girlfriend came and lived with him. I mean, this was years, not years ago, but years that they've been living together. When
Mm.
he passed away, tell me who got the house? The wife, because
Absolutely.
she was documented and owned the insurance policy. Girlfriend lived with him like for 20 years, but girlfriend didn't get that. Huh? The wife got it. Wives, make sure your information is documented, not just hearsay, not your husband saying, well, I'm going to look, see it for yourself. I'm telling you, see it for yourself. And then if something happens, don't say Portia didn't tell you. A will and or a trust. My friend said this is a must. It's a document that provides instructions for distributing your assets to your family and other beneficiaries upon their death. See, people don't like to talk about death. We want to party hard. We want to party hard and do things just for now. We have to look out for tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for us, it's for our family. It's because when
Mm-hmm.
you're gone, you're gone. You're not here to take care of your family, but your insurance policy is what is needed and necessary to make that happen. And let me see. Let's see.
Can I say something to that
Absolutely.
power of attorney? So the
Absolutely.
power of attorney is if you become incapacitated. So any of us, I have a relative that is taking care of a young lady that was hit by a car. So now she's incapacitated. So any of us at any age can become incapacitated, as adults. And so what happens is when you have your power of attorney, you have to make sure that you trust that person that you have as your power of attorney. Husband and wife should be each other's power of attorney. But if you've lost your spouse already, it's really important that you have it because, say, I had a couple of falls last year and this year. And so, and just like, I'm like, I can't believe this happened to me. But I was just thinking, if I became incapacitated, when you can go to the bank when you have your power of attorney, that person can go to the bank, that person can keep paying your house note, because if you have the person just as a beneficiary only works when you passed away. So what if you're still here and you need these things to keep going until you get your healing? And so I think it's important that everybody look into getting a power of attorney, even if you don't own any property. If you got a bank account, you want a power of attorney because that person can keep paying your house note, that person can keep paying your rent, that person can keep paying paying your bills, so your credit won't go bad and different things. So that's the difference between the power of attorney and then the beneficiary, because a lot of people think, well, I have them down as beneficiaries, but neither one, they have to, you have to pass away in order for it to come into place.
Now we're sharing this information with you, and I encourage you to dig deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Find research it for yourself. Research it for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. One of the things they also said was at the banks, all accounts should have a payable on death or beneficiary, which will keep out of probate. someone that will get this account and the funds in their account upon your death. Because if your name is not on that account, believe me when I say you're not getting that money, you're not getting, unless you have to jump through hoops and
Right.
do
The
all
best
this.
thing to do is actually put
I
them
can't hear
down
you.
as
You need
the best
louder.
thing. The best thing to do is actually put them down as POD. You want to be careful about actually adding someone, even if you trust them, to your bank account, because you want them to not be able to get into your account. So if you
Now,
put them
some
down
that's
as
that I think
POD,
that goes back with trust. Because there are some I
yeah,
definitely want to get in their
right,
account. That goes back to that factor of trust. Because,
right,
like I said, some yes, and if you don't trust them, it's an absolute no.
right. And you could just put them down as PODs, and that way they'll just get paid upon death.
I, wives, here, Crystal, here, Portia, we're just trying to tell you some things that we've experienced that
Oh
we
yeah.
do not want you to go through.
No.
Let's see. It says have a discussion on who will handle your personal affairs.
Mhm.
Ladies, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. Whether it's your inheritance or just everyday issues, everyday
Mhm.
matters. They have to understand what that responsibility is. They definitely
Mhm.
have to understand that. We need to talk about finances so they will know what has been done and what needs to be done. Communication is key. We have to communicate. And I don't mean communicate in the hollering and the fussing and the cussing and the everything else. I'm like, look, and not the I was going I was going to say, not the hand gestures, telling them where to go. I'm gonna keep the fingers down. I'm keep the fingers down. Not telling, no, no, I'm not saying that.
Although we wish we could even have that right now, right?
Honest,
It's like
honest,
I'll take an argument. I'll take anything right now to have
right.
them.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna miss it when it's gone. If
Yeah.
you had a good relationship, you're gonna miss these things when it's gone. The walk, the husband and wife, when the husband walks by and just pats you on your behind, you're gonna
Exactly.
miss that. The
Yeah.
kiss, the touch. You're gonna miss all of that. So let them.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not gonna say let them do it because some of the guys get carried away. So, but if is it me? Okay, I can't say that. Okay. Um. Okay. Let's see what else is do. Oh, this is a good one. Do it while they're alive, of course, and with a sound mind. And with a
Mhm.
sound mind, particularly if there are children involved.
Mhm.
Don't wait until they get sick and do it.
Yeah.
There was there was one document, I forgot what document it was that I needed my husband to sign. And I brought it in and he couldn't sign his name.
Mhm.
He couldn't sign his name. Um, I forgot how we took care of that. But ladies, I'm saying while you can, do what needs to be done. Do what need love that man, even if he gets on your nerves. Only God can give you the strength to go through an experience. If he's sick,
Mhm.
you got to take care of him through sickness. I was able, and I said I was able. I knew I wasn't gonna send him whether to hospice or wherever. He passed away right here in my home. And I never thought I see, I don't care for feet. And I was able to, I was privileged to get down there and clip his toenails, to wash between his toes, to watch his
Mhm.
body. And that's when he was sick. I'm telling you, whatever you can do for your spouse, do it. Do it. And again, I said there's no perfect marriage, but if you ask God to give you strength to go through it.
Yeah.
He'll do it. Crystal, are you a witness to that? If
I
you ask
am a
God,
witness to that. Yeah. I am a
Definitely,
witness. 34 years, let me tell you. I am a witness to that.
definitely
Yeah,
so.
you have to, you can't do it on your own and in your own might, but with the help of the Lord
With
and the
the
Holy
help of the
Spirit
Lord.
convicting you, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal, you have something, um, it's a journal. Tell us
Hmm.
a little bit about your, not necessarily how you got there, how you got it, but if the audience can contact you in, if you are a widow, this one is for if you are a widow, um,
Hmm.
a widow's journey. It's a booklet. Um, let the audience know how they can get that.
You can order it through me. I'm Crystal King Facebook, or either you can order it through Amazon. It's God's Love for the Grieving Widow. And I also have a book that I released. Is there? My brain went.
Okay, so what we're going to allow you to do, we just post it in the comment section.
Okay, I will.
After we'll post it in the comment section. Let
Okay.
me let me share this information with our audience on estate legal clinics, planning. This is for homeowners in the Baltimore City area. And then even additional information for individuals, or shall I say husbands or wives. Let's see, your register of wills for whatever state you live in.
Hmm.
Contact them and see what they can do, or what needs to be done. Let's say it like that, what needs to be done. But for individuals who are homeowners in the Baltimore City area, let me share this information, and I will also try to post it in the comment section. It's at clinics at the Bond Secure Community Resource Center on Payson Street, 3100 South Payson Street, 3100 South Payson Street in Baltimore. It says meet one-on-one with an attorney. Now, I'm giving you this information. You have to take advantage of it. You have to take advantage of it. Meet one-on-one with an attorney to prepare estate planning documents, including wills, advanced medical directives, and financial powers of attorney. We also offer information and advice on deed issues and on property tax credits and delinquencies. Appointment is necessary and are required. Here is the phone number, and I will also put it in our comment section. I will post it. Please call the Pro Bono Resource Center, 443-703-3052 to make an appointment. 443-703-3052 to make an appointment. Okay? So that is information on wills and deeds and trusts. You have no excuse. You have no, and believe me, it will save you from getting some gray hairs. It will save you from having an attitude with family, with with family. I mean, when it's just good information to have.
Yeah.
And don't forget, it's a trust factor. It works both ways. They have to
Hmm.
trust you, and you have to trust them. Wives, do
Hmm.
you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It works both ways. Now, if you say you can't trust them, that's an opportunity for you to pray, a grand opportunity. Call some things to work out. He'll do it. He'll do it. Let's see. I want to share a book with you from one of our widows. This is for the widows community now. But then again, if wives, you want to read it? Oh, this is good because look at the title. Can you can you read that? Is it backwards? Sometimes it's backwards. Crystal, can you read that?
Uh-huh.
What does it say?
I wasn't expecting him to die. What
No.
if he dies? I'm
I
sorry.
girl
What if
say,
he
where you
dies?
see that?
What if he dies?
There you go. The book is What If He Dies. I
Hmm.
encourage you to get that. It's by one of our Vow Synergy Network sisters. Vow meaning VO, that VOW, the acronym, and it stands for Voices of Widows and Widowers. This is by Renee Barnes, B. Renee Barnes. Check her out on her Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
The girl is hilarious, and she's a powerful woman.
Yeah.
Powerful woman. And she's an artist, a singer. So check her out. But this book right here is going to bless you. Now, for the men, check this one out. What does this one say, Crystal?
First 365.
The first 365, the first 365 days of the death of a spouse. This is by one of our brothers of our Vow Synergy Network, Terrell Whitener. Now, don't call him Terrell because it looks like Terrell, doesn't it? But it's Terrell, okay? Terrell Whitener, another powerful giant in our widowers community. And those two books right there, and I know there are others, but those are the two I wanted to present right about now to share that information with you because it will help you. Last but not least, in September, let's see, September the 19th through the 21st, there will be a widows retreat, widows and widowers retreat, acknowledged as the gathering. It is out of my, it is sponsored by myself with Trophy of Life, as well as the lead host, which is Dora Smith out of New York. And we are going to Bethany Beach and going to retreat there. So again, I'm excited about that because let me tell the audience, when we say the word widow, please don't feel sorry for us. Don't feel sorry for us. That's not a bad word. It just happens to be where God has us right now. So that's my status right now. And Crystal and we're working this thing.
Yeah.
We're working this thing. We're working this thing so that you don't have to go through what we went through. And all at the same time, if there are some things that you have to experience because God said so, we step back and let God do his thing. Let God do his thing. But we are going to be retreating in Bethany Beach in September the 19th through the 21st. So if you would like to sponsor a widow, some of the widows definitely need your sponsorship. Thank you. Thank you. And I put this out there. If you would,
I need to be sponsored.
okay, we'll check
I'm
it
not
out.
able to go right now.
We will look. I am praying, and a Crystal, I'm sure you're praying as well, that we will have individuals out there who want to sponsor. So if you want to sponsor, please contact me. Please. And this is the only time I pretty much not beg, but ask. I would ask on the behalf of someone else before I ask for myself. So contact me at trophyoflife@gmail.org. No, .com. Trophyoflife@gmail.com or info@trophyoflife.org. Info@trophyoflife.org. Or anybody that knows me, hit me up on Facebook. It doesn't matter. We're in this thing together. And I just know in my communication and interaction with widows and widowers, we need your help. Okay. And we're going to make it happen. We're going to have a nice time in September. All right. So by faith, I'm trusting God that someone out there, or someone in our audience, you're going to contact me to sponsor a widow, or I'm sure the widowers community, they have that sponsorship, one or the other. I'm all about the woman. I'm all about the woman. So Crystal, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me on today. And Jennifer Hall, I don't know where you are, but I want to thank you for your willingness to come on in spite of the technical difficulties, in spite of all of that. Thank you for agreeing to come on and be my guest. And thank you again, Crystal, for stepping in. I appreciate it. And I look
Thank you.
forward to seeing you in September. I'll see you before then. I'll definitely see your name somewhere on Facebook. Okay,
Okay.
I think I've done everything. You have any closing remarks to say?
I do. I have one thing to say. So what I did, and this is to the widows that may be just now widowed or going, just this is to the widows that are out there that did not have their affairs in order. There's different things that you can do as far as you can do a spousal's petition versus a full probate if you're fighting for your home. If you didn't have that stuff, if you didn't have those things, you didn't have your name on the home, there's something called a spousal's petition that you can do that's not as, it's the same process, but it's not as costly. I did mine myself, me and my cousin. And so you can look into that. And also, if you have, my husband had investments that he did not have beneficiaries on. So make sure you go back and make sure you have beneficiaries on everything that's concerning your finances. But if you didn't have it, you couldn't get the money from the bank. There is something called a small estate affidavit. And here in California, is anything 160 is now went up to 188,000. You will be able to claim that funds with doing a small affidavit estate.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that information. And when you have the opportunity, some of that pertinent information, please post it. Post it in
Okay,
our comment
I will.
section. And yeah, we'll definitely make sure that information is shared. Again,
Mhm.
to our audience, thank you so very much for joining us on today. Make sure this Facebook Live and this share gets into the hands of a current wife.
Yes.
Let them know that we're talking from experience, some things you need to know before your spouse died. Thank you so
Yes.
much. God bless you. I love you and see you soon. Bye,
Okay.
Crystal.
Bye bye.